Third baseman couldn't really pick it up. Then the shortstop got involved, and it caused a lot of mayhem. Didn't really hear a good call as far as calling somebody off, but it looked like a routine pop-up for the third baseman all along. Not sure how they'll score that, but could have been an error there for the third baseman. Either way, they still get the force out at second base. Fastball at about 79 miles an hour. Pitcher throwing gas. And in the batter's box now is Sprok, taking the first fastball in the outside corner. And a curveball. Slow roller to the shortstop. He's going to have to play this one off balance and throw. And he dropped the ball at first base. And another error. So 2 errors so far for the Rabbits, in my opinion. Obviously a routine ball thrown over to the first baseman. The first baseman for the Rabbits, Bellarts, couldn't hold on to it. So runners on first and second with the number 4 hitter now stepping in the batter's box, Roger. Decent leads on the base pads. Fastball right in there. Strike 1. The coach giving instructions to the first baseman, who was kind of playing in front of the runner instead of behind the runner. So now he's in the right spot. And another curveball at 67 miles an hour misses down and away. So 1 ball, 1 strike here on Roger. Or Roger. Fastball up in the zone, 78 miles an hour, misses. So the pitcher, Oosterbeek, falls behind here with a very dangerous hitter. Fastball, 79 miles an hour, right down the middle. And Roger put a good swing on it, just a bit tardy there. Fouls it off to the right-hand side, out of play. So the count now 2-2. And a foul tip. Couldn't hold on to it. So a 72-mile-an-hour changeup. And Roger swings right on top of that thing. Managed to get a piece of it to stay alive. The count still remains 2-2. On deck, the number 5 hitter in the lineup, Ahmet. Pitch misses outside, a fastball at 78 miles an hour. So the count runs full here. And we have runners on first and second. Let's see what they do with this next pitch. This is an action pitch, ladies and gentlemen. See if they allow the runners to take off. They got very good speed on the pads. And they're going to go and keep that runner short at second base. Shortstop made his way back to second base to drive that runner back. Action pitch right here, ladies and gentlemen, in the bottom half of the first inning with 1 down. Pop foul and out of play behind the backstop, 78 miles an hour. So Roger stays alive. We're going to be playing 9 innings today, ladies and gentlemen, a full game. Fastball misses up in his zone at 78 miles an hour, and he draws the walk. Good at bat there by the number 4 hitter, Roger. Fouled off some pitches to stay alive. So with 1 down and the bases loaded, digging in is the second baseman for the Unicorns, Ahmad. And Ahmad is really looking to cause damage here. Number 5 hitter, very capable with the baton. Fastball misses up and in. Oosterbeek seems to have difficulty spotting his fastball. Little dribbler back to the pitcher who throws it over to the catcher who cannot hold on to the ball. Will that be called a transition? Yes, it will. So they'll get the force out at home plate. Umpire ruling that the catcher lost control of the baseball as he tried to make the transition to go for the double play over to first base. So they'll prevent the run from scoring, ladies and gentlemen, here with 2 outs now, and still the bases loaded. And stepping in the batter's box for the Unicorns is Groenemans, who plays left field. Fastball, and that's a line drive hitting the center field, and that's not going to be caught. There's a runner that's going to come home and score. Here's a long throw by the center fielder, and he's going to call him out. Very nice assist by the center fielder. A one-hopper to the catcher with a very nice tag. But nevertheless, Unicorns Rotterdam draw first blood. They got 1 run in the game so far on a beautiful base hit by Groenemans. Took it right back up the box. A one-hopper to the center fielder who threw a one-hopper back to the home plate. The runner from second base also tried to score but came up short. And that recorded the 3rd out of the first inning here. And we're going to move over to the top half of the 2nd inning with the score in favor of the Unicorns. 1-0, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and drop some comments and let us know what you think about this broadcast. If there's anything that you want us to cover, we're doing the best we can. Obviously, this came at a very short notice, so we're just trying to improvise and give you a nice little feed here. If there's anything that you want to know, please let us know, and we'll see if we can attend to it. Unicorns leading 1-0 here in the top half of the 2nd inning, about to start off. And a nice quick inning switch there as we send our regards out to the people around the world tuning in. Wearing number 31, the third baseman, Heemskerk, shows bunt, decides to take the first pitch of the top half of the 2nd inning for a strike. So strike 1 on Heemskerk. Heemskerk is from Haarlem. He plays third base and second base. Nice changeup there, down and away. Took a big hack swing right over it. So 0-2 the count right now. And that fastball at 67 miles an hour looked more like a changeup up in the zone. See if he could speed those hands up a little bit. But Heemskerk wasn't biting on that one. 1-2 the count now. Fastball. It appeared to be a fastball, but it was 66 miles an hour down in the zone. And again, Heemskerk swinging right over that one. So that records the first out of the top half of the 2nd inning. Van Zechelen, wearing jersey number 11, the second baseman for the Rabbits, digs in. My bad, this is Blijleven. This is not Van Zechelen. This is the number 7 hitter in the lineup, Mart Blijleven. Now batting. Just a bit high, I guess. Definitely caught the plate. 68 miles an hour, a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes on Mart Blijleven. Another fastball. This one really looks like it's in there, definitely in there. 2 balls and a strike on Mart Blijleven. And that fastball misses away. So 3-1. Matt Blijleven draws a hitter's count here. Matt Blijleven this season a 310 average hitter. And that ball at 70 miles an hour misses down and in. So the Rabbits get a runner. So Levi van Zechelen, ladies and gentlemen, steps into the batter's box with Matt Blijleven at first base. Van Zechelen is indeed the second baseman. Takes ball one, up in the zone. Matt Blijleven, not the fastest runner on the block. So Levi being selective, understanding that we still have a lot of baseball left, looking for his pitch to hit. Runner takes off. Salazar Mata behind the dish, throws a ball into the dirt, backed up by the second baseman. Amarencio Franca tried to put a tag on the runner. Matt Blijleven, definitely not the fastest runner, as I mentioned. Definitely got a lot faster over the years, but just a great jump right there. Stole second base. So Matt Blijleven credits it with the steal. The runner now in scoring position for Van Zechelen. And a fastball. Looks like it's going to be hit right in the hole. 80-mile-an-hour fastball. Where did that speed come from all of a sudden? Hit it right in the 5.5 hole. And Amarencio will do nothing more and nothing less than just jog that ball back to the pitcher as they now got him cornered. Runners on first and third. Salazar Mata looking at his keystone. Stays upright to figure out what to do with the position that these runners are in. And a pickoff attempt. Ooh, very close call there, but just back in there safely. Van Zechelen took a pretty decent lead there. Of course, Hogendorp wants to keep him short with the runners at the corner situation. Batting now for the Rabbits is Willem. Last name Willem. Another pickoff attempt. Don't throw that thing away with the runner on third base. Under no circumstances are these Unicorn kids trying to get the go-ahead run into scoring position with a very capable hitter in the form of Willem. And a fastball at 69 miles an hour up and away, misses for ball one on Willem. And this ball is popped up 70 miles an hour over to the second baseman who hauls it in. And that's going to give the Unicorns a little bit of breathing space here. It's a very big out right there, ladies and gentlemen, with runners at the with runners at the corners. 2 outs now. Signs being given by the third base coach. Let's see if they send the runner. And that ball shoots right between the wickets of Salazar Mata, and that'll draw the tying run across home plate. Looked like a wild pitch there, 68 miles an hour, spiked in front of home plate. Salazar Mata will probably tell you he should have and could have kept that ball in front of him, but he wasn't expecting that at all, so it just shot right between his wickets into the backstop, which puts the go-ahead run into scoring position now at second base. The game is tied here in the top half of the second inning. Fastball, little dribbler to the third baseman who cannot hold on to it cleanly. Tried to forehand that ball instead of backhand it and couldn't get a good grip on it. Dropped it out of his glove. And so Muhammad, otherwise known as a pretty decent fielder, just tried to play that a little too nonchalantly and maybe should have played that on the backhand, kept his momentum to first base. Anyway, that's water under the bridge now. Runners on first and second. And I believe we are now back to the top of the lineup. Pretty good fastball there. Yes, strike one. Runners on first and second here, and a big changeup up and in. Big cut there by number 24, Sam Kuiper. Nicely stopped there by Salazar Mata on the backhand. Ball took a little dive there. Sam Kuiper will foul it off to the right-hand side. So 2-2. Deuces wild, as they like to say. Curveball, nicely blocked there by Salazar Mata. So with 2 outs and a full count here on Sam Kuiper, the Rabbits most likely going to send their runners into motion here. See what they do here. It's a big pitch, ladies and gentlemen. The runners take off very late, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because it was ball 4 on Sam Kuiper. So bases loaded for the Rabbits. And Krao, the shortstop, digs in. Big curveball, misses down and away. Had a lot of break to it, just didn't catch the plate. Ball 1. And that fastball, it looked a little bit down, but called a strike anyway. 1 ball, 1 strike there on Krao. A ball, 2 balls and a strike. Matiz Krao batting .333 in the regular season. And that ball again spiked in the dirt, nicely stopped there by Salazar Mata. And Hohendoorn seems to have lost his control a little bit. We've now seen about 3 balls hit into the dirt. Audience is telling Matiz to be smart, stay selective, stay in the zone, put a good stroke on a good fastball. Here's a good stroke on a good fastball. Played on the backhand and stepped on third base for the third out. So there's the backhand of our beloved third baseman, who records the third out in the top half of the second inning, ladies and gentlemen. But the Rabbits right back into this game. And we got one. We got a good one, ladies and gentlemen. The finals of the Dutch Academy system. Fastball, strike one on Mac Myers. Mac Myers wearing number 40. And Mac Myers is the DH. Nice fastball hit into the opposite field. Way to stay with that pitch. Hit it right in the 3.5 hole for a clean base hit. Ground ball, but nobody was there. So the leadoff guy for the Unicorns here in the bottom half of the second inning is on. Now batting for the Unicorns is Salazar Mata, the catcher. And a big stroke into center field. Camped underneath that one is the center fielder for the Rabbits. And Blalev hauls it in for the first out. So unfortunately, not a very productive out there for the Unicorns as they can't move the runner over. And in his first plate appearance here for the Unicorns is Fan Frederici, the right fielder. Takes the first pitch for a ball, up and in. Timeout called. Second baseman is asking the umpire to move a little bit so he can get a clear vision as to the release point of the ball. And the umpire is not really cooperating with the request of the second baseman. He's saying, I have to be here to keep my eye on the potential pickoff that the pitcher can throw to first base. Coach is now out, called a timeout, and is now kindly asking the field umpire to move because the second baseman really wants to be positioned in that particular spot. You have to understand these kids really know each other, know their strokes, know how they get down, know the spray chart. These are kids that have been playing each other for the past 3-4 years, even through the Dutch pupil system. So the coach still requesting the field umpire to just move. And so the umpire is saying, if you want me to be anywhere, to make a good call, I'll be right there. And he does not move. Very unfortunate. Pretty sure you can make that call from another position as well. So semi-blocking the vision of the second baseman here. A warm-up pitch just to get right back into it. So no pitch called here. Either way, we'll continue playing ball here. And we're dealing with Fanfrederici, who takes a strike. So the count now, 1 ball, 1 strike on Fanfrederici. Myers still on first base. And that ball just missed outside. 2 balls and a strike now on Fanfrederici. Mac Myers takes off. And he got him. I was about to say that I clocked the catcher there, and he actually threw a pop time at 1.99. Now, Major League Standard is 2 seconds, and he was just below that at 1.99. He threw it with a bounce, but a pretty decent and quick transition there by the catcher, who caught the runner going from first base to second base in the form of Mac Myers. Got picked off, thrown out, I should say, by the catcher. Very nice, quick pop time there. So 2 down, and the count in the meantime runs full on Fanfrederici, who pops it up over to the first base side, and the first baseman calls it and hauls it in. That's the 3rd out of the bottom half of the 2nd inning, ladies and gentlemen. We got a nice one. Keep chewing, keep staying right here with us, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and drop your comments, man. Let us know what you think about what we're doing. We're trying to broadcast this thing to you because of the corona situation. People can't really watch this beautiful game, so we've decided to get together and share this beautiful sport with y'all. Let us know what you think. And we're going to make our way to the top half of the 3rd inning. So Koen van het Klooster, ladies and gentlemen, 17 years old, wearing jersey number 34. Previous clubs that he played for were the Hoofddorp Pioneers and RCH Penguins. That's where he started off. Look at him now, playing in the academy level for the Rabbits, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be his 4th year playing for the Rabbits. Spiked in the dirt for a ball. Says he wants to make his debut appearance in the Dutch Major League Hoofdklasse next year. He's batting .385, so he's got the batting average to back that idea up. Takes a strike here. Koen van het Klooster. Good power. Said he enjoyed the season, but of course wished that, just like everybody else did, Corona wasn't around, and without the Corona situation, of course, all these kids would have had more at-bats. So none of these kids are able to play in their full potential. But nevertheless, if you're hitting 385, I guess you're doing something with that little stick. So Koen van het Klooster just took a big swing on a changeup. Very nice pitch, by the way. And a fastball chopped at the plate, and it's going to be called foul. Salazar was right there, ready to pick that thing up in fair territory to try to tag him out or throw over to first base, but the ball just ended up on the wrong side of the foul line. And so call the foul ball there by the umpire. Fastball misses way up in the zone. Koen van het Klooster has 6 hits in the regular season. Strikes out right here. Ball being thrown around in the infield. First down here in the top half of the third inning. So stepping back in the box for the second time around, Beljarts, the first baseman, wearing jersey number 32. Big curveball, beautiful pitch right there, in there. Good break to it. Started off high, looked like a ball for a long time, and then broke down and away into the right-hand corner for a strike. It's got 13 hits, and he won't need to hit here as he gets plunked, and he'll take it for the team. Either way, Beljarts hits 310. Little chest pump there with the first base coach. Glad they got their runner on. So now the third baseman, Heemskerk, wearing jersey number 31. Runner on first base, and that pitch misses way outside. Just released a little bit early there by the right-hander number 12. Ryan Hogendorn still in here, pitching for the Unicorns. The Unicorns at this point only have 11 players, have played basically their entire season with a bunch of what they call aspirant level players, which is a division lower or an age category lower. So really remarkable the fact that they managed to get in here into the finals. Great baseball talent coming out of that beautiful city, Rotterdam. Another fastball, misses down and in. 3 balls, no strikes. And with a guy hitting 372, might just want to give him the green light here. He's got 16 hits in the season. Of course, not all these kids have played the same amount of games, so the averages don't tell you everything, but nevertheless, 372 is a pretty good average, no matter how many at-bats you had. Very generous call there in the top left corner by the umpire. Could have been a strike, but definitely not something you want to drive on the 3-0 count. So he took that pitch, 3-1 now, the count. And Heemskerk out in front of that one just a little bit. Threw him a 3-1 changeup. Managed to speed those hands up a little bit first with that fastball, and then threw him a changeup that got him out in front. He did manage to get a piece of it, though. So a full count now. Heemskerk, left-handed hitter. Big hole in the right side of the infield. Can he pull one? And it's right there, right through the hole on the right side. And the runner from first will stop at second base, not testing the arm of the right fielder. And just as predicted, there was a big hole there. Of course, the first baseman had to keep that runner short at first base. And with the left-handed hitter, really all you got to do is just roll that thing in the hole for a very productive base hit, moving the runner into scoring position. So digging in now, Matt Blijleven. Matt Blijleven, very dangerous hitter indeed. Another left-handed hitter. First baseman now wisely playing behind the runner at first to cover more ground with this very potential or potent hitter, I should say. Fastball. He swung right over that one, though. Strike one here for Matt Blijleven. Looking to cause damage here are these rabbits, ladies and gentlemen. 70 miles an hour. Just managed to get a piece of that thing on the inside corner. Hit it with the thin part of the bat. Tried to keep his hands in. Goes over his swing again outside of the batter's box to figure out where he could have made better contact. So 0-2 the count now on the big left-handed hitter, Blijleven. Another fastball thrown in on the hands, and I believe they're going to call him out. Well, I mean, the ball was never caught, so that's really weird. I'm not following what's happening here. They're going to call him out. I don't think he made contact, and the ball was definitely not caught by the catcher. And there was a runner at first when they took off. That is indeed correct. So first base was occupied by a runner, and so no need to catch that baseball. He's out on a swing. The runners decided to take off on that last pitch, which was very smart because now they got two runners in scoring position with two outs. And a big drive into left field. On his horseback is the left fielder and also the center fielder, and they're going to haul that thing in. Big stroke there into left center field, eventually caught by the center fielder. Had a very good jump on that thing. Broke to his right-hand side and made a backhand grab. So, the Rabbits very close to extending their runs, but just came up short. So we're going to move to the bottom half of the third inning. And the score is still tied at 1, ladies and gentlemen. Like I told you before, we've got a good one. Stay tuned. And we're back at it, ladies and gentlemen, here in the bottom half of the third inning. Amarencio Franca, the leadoff hitter for the Unicorns, the number one hitter in the Unicorns system, draws a ball here. And the pitcher, 3-0 behind in the count, misses up. Amarencio Franca played 21 games with 70 plate appearances. He's got 23 hits, ladies and gentlemen. He's batting .426. Taking all the way here on the 3-0 pitch. So when you're looking at an average of 426 based on 23 hits in a total of 54 at-bats, you know you're dealing with a hitter. Especially if you take into consideration that the boy's 14 years old. And a big curveball. Amarencio Franca just managed to get a piece of that thing. Fouls it off, chops it at home plate. So a full count on Amarencio Franca. Amarencio Franca has got 17 base hits and 5 doubles. And a changeup. Released high, dropped low, and Franca swung right over it. 1 down. The third baseman, Mohamed. Curveball, very nice pitch. Called strike 1. Mohamed has played 20 games this season. Another strike there on Mohamed. He's got 66 plate appearances, 43 at-bats, 14 hits. Drew a walk. I don't think he did. Mohamed batting .326. Very nice play there by the third baseman. A long throw to go get him. Mohamed did not draw a walk this time, but Mohamed has a very good eye for the strike zone. I don't think there's anybody in the Juniora level that drew more walks than this kid. 21 walks in the season so far for Mohamed, the previous hitter. Now moving on to the number 3 hitter, I should say, in the lineup, Sprock, the center fielder. And Sprock, the second most dangerous hitter in the Unicorns Juniora level. 20 games played, 62 plate appearances, 53 at-bats, 20 hits, ladies and gentlemen. Batting .377. That's not bad at all, considering the fact that he's also got 8 walks and only 8 strikeouts. Big curveball, nice pitch there. Broke down and away into the dirt. Made him look like he doesn't know what he's doing, and little do we know, he really does know what he's doing. He's a good hitter. Sprock Joendrik, another curveball. Tried to fool him twice, but he wasn't biting. He's got 2 doubles and a triple in the season as well. He's got 13 RBIs. And that fastball in there, taken all the way. And he's walking back to the dugout thinking, I could have put a swing on that thing. Nothing wrong with that pitch, but just good pitching overall. 2 curveballs down and away in the dirt. And then a fastball right on the corner down and away for the 3rd out. So we're going to move to the top half of the 4th inning, ladies and gentlemen. The game is still tied at 1. So Willem, the number 9 hitter for Heemskerk, steps in. Tries to lay a bunt down, does so very successfully. Will he beat it out? I think he's safe. Yes, he did. Slid in there head first with a surprise attack. Wasn't placed perfectly. Kind of like between the catcher and the pitcher. A little bit of confusion as to who should have picked up that thing. Obviously, if you bunt for a base hit, especially if you're a left-handed hitter, you either want to bunt it foul down the left field line or just fair. This one placed kind of like between the pitcher and the catcher. But with good speed, Willem beats it out and slides in there safely with a head first. Pickoff attempt here. The ball is going to shoot away from the first baseman, but first base coach tells Willem to stay put as that ball did not shoot through enough. Good backup as well by the right fielder. And so the Rabbits get their leadoff guy on with some really good speed. Right-handed hitter in the form of Aguilar, who also lays a bunt down, basically in the same spot. This time the pitcher pulls his gun out and blasts him out at first base. But they'll move the runner over into scoring position. So a sac bunt for Aguilar, using speed here in the bottom and the top part of the lineup to try to put a runner into scoring position here in the fourth, ladies and gentlemen. Good baseball. So Sam Kuiper, ladies and gentlemen, the big catcher, digs in. Sam Kuiper played 17 games, has got 58 plate appearances with 48 at-bats, of which he had 19 hits. A fastball, it smokes to the third baseman. It's going to pass him. And on this Astro turf, you would expect that third baseman to make that play. Not sure how they'll score that thing. It was definitely crushed. But nevertheless, in my opinion, I think he could have kept that ball in front of him and get the force out of, or not the force out, he probably could have gotten him at first base. But either way, difficult hop there on the Astro turf, and again, crushed. So, right now, we got runners on first and second with one down. Matis Krau batting. Big cut. Took his head out of that swing. Wanted to hit it into trees there. Looking back to the second baseman is the pitcher, Hogendorf, and a line drive hit into right field. And the right field is going to have to play that off. One hop, long throw to the first baseman, who's right in line with the catcher. And I'm not sure what the call is, but the runner from third base is going to be awarded home plate. And you guys have to forgive me. I have no clue what happened there. It must have been an interference call by someone. And we're now going up. The coach for the Unicorns also wants to have a talk with the field umpire. This is the same field umpire that had difficulty moving. Words being exchanged between Evert-Jan de Hoen, the head coach for the Unicorns, and the field umpire. Oh, that's not Evert-Jan de Hoen. Oh, it's Jeroen Sluiter, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. And they're going to call interference. And so the second baseman probably stood in the way of the runner, and therefore the runners will advance. And so anyway, the Rabbits will score the second run of the game and take the lead here, ladies and gentlemen. Vosleiter decided to make a pitching change. And he'll take Hogendorf out of the game. Get his relief pitcher. A lefty pitcher. We're going to look up who that is as soon as I get a jersey number. So as promised, we've got a new pitcher. Sem Naiman. He's a lefty. And Sem Naiman will be asked to keep the damage limited here as the Rabbits get the go-ahead run-in on an interference call by the second baseman. Stop the runner from advancing to the next base, and therefore the runners from second and third will be awarded another base. That's how we got to the runners at the corner situation. Sem Naiman starts him off with a fastball for a strike. So one down here in the top half of the fourth inning. Runners at the corner. The lefty, of course, Sem Naiman, with a better view on that runner at first base. Second pitch is taken for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Van het Klooster, the son of the world-renowned Dirk van het Klooster. Baseball family, it's in the blood. Wearing jersey number 34, and he puts a good swing on this thing, but it's a roller over to the third baseman. So he hit the top part of the baseball and it rolled over to the third baseman, who played it one-handed and made an off-balance throw. Very nice play there by the third baseman, Mohammed, who threw him out at first base. But nevertheless, the Rabbits still managed to score another runner from third base. Risky decision there by the runner at third base to go home on that play, because normally if a ball is hit to the third baseman, pitcher or catcher, with less than 2 outs, you're taught not necessarily to break home. But good read, I guess, by the runner at third base, who decided to go home anyway and extend the lead to 3-1. 2 down now here in the top half of the fourth inning. Runner in scoring position. And another son of a famous baseball player, Belliards, wearing number 32, is now in the batter's box. Hits a pop-up, back to the backstop. 0-2 the count now on Belliards. Belliards played 15 games this season, 51 plate appearances, 42 at-bats. Scored 12 times and has got 13 hits into today's game. So 13 hits. Pretty sure he'd like to drive another one in here with the runner in scoring position on second base. The runner takes off, and they're going to get this guy. Yes. So Salazar Mata with a very quick transition over to third base. Not quite sure why they would want to steal once they're already in scoring position with 2 outs from second to third. Maybe he missed a sign there, because that's not a very standard thing to do, is to steal third base. The only thing that can really get you in other than a base hit would be a passed ball. And at this level, you would expect the catchers to be able to hold that ball in front of them. So not quite sure why the runner took off from second base to third. With a very capable hitter at the plate. Ran themselves out of an inning at third base. Not something you'd like to see as a coach. Pretty sure that sign was not given. Either way, the Rabbits get 2 more runs here in the top half of the 4th inning. So 3 runs for the Rabbits and a run for the Unicorns as we move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. A line drive hit into center field. Unicorns very upset with that interference call. Hopefully they'll be able to use that energy and give us some good baseball here. Keep their heads calm. In between innings, Slaughter, the coach for the Unicorns, wanted to get another piece of his mind or something off his chest and went over that interference call again. Either way, the Unicorns, with their leadoff guy on first base, trailing by 2 runs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And a fastball, routine ground ball to the shortstop, who can turn 2 with this play, but they'll throw it away over to first base. So a pretty decent feed by the shortstop, Matisse Krau. Lobbed it over to the second baseman, put his left foot on second base, but threw it in the dirt at first base. So no double play turned here. They'll get the leadoff guy, the first hitter in the inning, with the force out at second base, but that's all they'll get. First pitch here in the 3rd at bat of the bottom half of the 4th inning is a fastball on the corner for strike 1. So Chris Groenemans, another strike on him. 0-2 the count now on Chris Groenemans. Chris Groenemans played 21 games, 52 plate appearances, 38 at-bats, scored 12 times, and has got 11 hits in the season. He's got 17 RBIs, ladies and gentlemen. Hitting .289. Curveball misses away. I have to correct myself. Groenemans does not have 17 RBIs. He's got 8 RBIs. Either way, he does hit .298. And a fastball chopped foul down the left field line. So the count remains full on Groenemans. Fastball in there, another called strike. And Groenemans not able to pull the trigger on that thing. So he strikes out looking. So Mac Myers, the DH, back in the box. A fastball on the corner right there for a strike. Mac Myers played 15 games this season, ladies and gentlemen. Curveball in there for a strike. Very nice pitch. Started off ball up and in. Broke down for a strike. Got 11 hits. 6 singles and 3 doubles. Fastball right back up the box, but slowly hit as he didn't make solid contact, so the second baseman has time to get behind that thing. Routine ground ball on a one-hopper. Out at first base for the third out of the bottom half of the fourth inning, ladies and gentlemen. The Rabbits still in the lead, 3-1. So in between innings, we are looking at some of the comments that you guys sent in. Seems to be some discrepancy in regard to the interference call. And to be completely honest with you, the interference call was made by the field umpire in the following situation. We had a runner on first and a runner on second. The ball was hit, and the runner taking off from first base to second base was stopped in his tracks, according to the field umpire, and was therefore rewarded the next base in line, meaning not second base but third base. And being that there was already a guy on second base when that play happened that was on his way to third base, that guy had to move over to home plate, and in that sense scored the third run of the game. So, interference call saw to it that the third run of the Rabbits was scored. And therefore, the score now 3-1 in favor of the Rabbits. We're moving to the top half of the fifth inning. And digging in for the Rabbits, number 31, Tim Heemskerk. Changeup in there for a strike. So Terrence Heemskerk played 19 games, and an error by the second baseman who tried to play it on the backhand. First bounce didn't come up too much. Second bounce slid right underneath the glove of the backhand of the second baseman. So an error for the second baseman. The second baseman is Ahmad. And so the Rabbits will get their leadoff guy on in the form of a reached-on error. Now batting, number 31 for the Rabbits. Strike one. A lot of these kids, of course, are still accustomed to playing on regular grass. And the bounces on regular grass and AstroTurf, of course, are very different. Either way, you should have put that glove behind the thing and stopped that ball from rolling into the outfield. Very late swing there by number 31. So That ball's going to shoot away by the catcher. And so Terrence still batting for Heemskerk. Excuse me. Terrence his last name is Heemskerk, and he plays for the Rabbits, of course. So the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner in scoring position on a ball that got away by at the catcher's from the catcher's mitt. Salazar Mata couldn't hold on to that thing, and they took advantage to put that runner into scoring position immediately. Big curveball down and away. Started up and in. Big swing and a miss. Terrence Heemskerk strikes out for the first out of the top half of the 5th inning. So Matt Blijleven, number 16, left-handed, hard stroker, can hit behind the runner here with 1 out. Left-handed hitter, checks his pitch, called the strike. Looked a little bit low to me, but called the strike anyway. Matt Blijleven with the open stance, looking to pull that thing to the right side to advance the runner. The pitch broke, but not across the plate, so a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spiked into the dirt. A bouncer in front of a home plate. Good stop there by Salazar Mata to keep that runner from moving to third base with 1 out. As of that moment, they could have played the sac fly. So a good block there by the catcher. Keep that runner at second base. Unicorns not out of the woods just yet. They got a runner in scoring position, and Matt Blijleven knows how to pull the trigger with that bat. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Driven into center field, straight to the center fielder for a routine flyout. Put a good swing on it. Wasn't really hit hard enough or soft enough for that matter. Center fielder took about 2 or 3 steps in. Sprock hauled it in for the second out of the top half of the 5th inning. So the second baseman, Van Sechelen, with another chance to drive that runner in from second base. First pitch is a ball. Van Sechelen played 18 games, got 46 plate appearances, 35 at-bats. He's got 6 hits so far into the season. And another steal attempt with 2 outs. And now it's overthrown by the catcher, and that's going to draw in another run. So very weird baseball being played here. Again, another steal from second base to third base with 2 outs. Not a very classic way to play baseball, as the runner is already in scoring position at second base. You have to understand these kids are about 14, 15, 16 years old, and if you don't get a good grip on that baseball, you might overthrow the third baseman, and you're going to throw it into the left outfield. So a very risky chance there, but it paid off. And Van Sechelen might not be the very strongest hitter in the lineup, as he swings and misses on a changeup down and away. Levi Van Sechelen. Good eye there by Levi. Levi van Zegelen, a .239 hitter with runners in scoring position. So I guess what they did is they decided to roll the dice and a pop-up foul behind home plate. Levi van Zegelen batting average 171. Another pop-up, foul behind the home plate. Levi van Zegelen seems to be dropping his hands just a little bit to get underneath that pitch. Maybe if he can keep his hands on top of the ball, he'll be able to drive it into the field. Just like that. It's almost like he heard me. Kept his hands on top of the baseball there. The pitch indeed was a little bit more elevated than the previous pitch, but definitely a good stroke. A clean base hit into center field. And Levi van Zegelen gets a hit. So the number 9 hitter, Willem, steps in with 2 outs. And the Rabbits, here in the top half of the 5th inning, are leading 4 runs to 1, I should say. And Levi van Zegelen being kept short there by the left-hander, Sam Nijman. Levi van Zegelen very flat-footed there at first base. Big swing and a miss there by Willem. Left-handed hitter. In his last at-bat, laid a bunt down for a base hit. That paid off. Number 9 hitter in the lineup, Willem. Good speed. Worked together with Aguilera, and the ball is going to not be caught by Salazar Mata. Bounces off his glove about 2 feet behind home plate, with just enough space to move the runner over into scoring position. So Willem in his last at-bat worked together with the leadoff guy in the lineup, Aguilera. And Aguilera laid another bunt down. And that saw to it that they had runners on first and second with nobody out. Actually, that's not true. Aguilera laid the bunt down as a sac bunt and was thrown out by the pitcher. But Willem moved into scoring position. Good stop there by Salazar Mata. So the count, 3 balls and a strike, 2 down, with the runner in scoring position on second base. Big drive into right field, very deep into right field, and it's a 1 bouncer off the wall. The runner from second base will score easily, as with 2 outs, no reason to hold on to that base. Jogs in there safely, and Willem, with a stand-up double, a 1 bouncer off the right field wall, drives in the 5th run of the game for the Rabbits. Big, solid contact into right field, over the right fielder's head. Not a whole lot he could do with that. So the Rabbits, well on their way to call themselves Dutch national champions, if Unicorns does not stop the bleeding here. So Aguilera, the DH, the leadoff guy for the Rabbits, takes the first pitch up in the zone for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at second base and 2 outs. 5-1 for the Rabbits. Inside, but call the strike. Looked pretty generous to me. 1 ball and 1 strike. And poor contact, but will it be enough? No, it won't. The second baseman will haul it in. A floater into shallow center field. Second baseman had all the time in the world to camp underneath that one. So the third out is recorded, but not before the Rabbits score their 5th run in the game. And so the Rabbits, with a comfortable lead, move over to the bottom half of the 5th. And the Unicorns are getting together in the dugout to discuss the method of attack here. They need to get on the board some more. And they know very well they don't have to score 4 in this inning. There's a lot of baseball left. We're only halfway the game, ladies and gentlemen, but they got to find a connection some way, somehow. 1 run will simply not cut it. A lot of baseball left. So no signs of any activity in the bullpen so far. Why would you if you're the Rabbits? Oosterbeek still on the mound for the Rabbits. Only allowed 1 run to score so far. Big, tall right-hander. Doing a great job. Keeping these Rotterdam kids to only 1 run. Matthijs Oosterbeek sets and deals for the first pitch, and it's called a strike. Matthijs Oosterbeek throws about 80 miles an hour, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that it's pretty cold. He's got a good break on his curveball as well. This one released a little bit low and therefore spiked into the dirt in front of home plate. But that combination between an 80-mile-an-hour fastball and a curveball, here's another fastball right down the middle. 1-2 the count now. Gabriel Salazar Mata, the catcher, behind an account 1-2. He fouls this thing off. Oh, it's not fouled off. It's a passed ball. Now they're going to call foul. Very late call by the umpire. Maybe wanted that catcher to burn some extra calories on his way to first base. Could have caught that play maybe a little earlier and saved him from running over to first base. But nevertheless, Salazar Mata fouls it off to stay alive. So the count remains 1-2. And a big swing and a miss for the third strike as he strikes out swinging. 1 down here in the bottom half of the 5th. So Oosterbeek seems to be in very decent control here of these Unicorn hitters. They don't seem to have a straight answer to him just yet. Hardest hit ball so far was definitely hit by the Rabbits. This is big, solid contact, but it's popped up. He just got underneath that one just a little bit. Over to the shortstop side. And that'll be the second outs for the starting pitcher of the Rabbits. Oosterbeek doing a fine job. So back to the top of the lineup in the form of Amarencio Franca. Amarencio Franca beat out an infield single. Another ball hit right here in the 5-hole. Past the third baseman, and now Mauricio Franca is going to dig in and try to go for second base, and he slides in there safely. Small hesitation as he rounded first base. Wasn't quite sure if he should test the arm of the left fielder. But Franca Marencia, in my opinion, should know better. He's got very good speed, if not outstanding speed for his age, 14 years old. Either way, he's in there safely with 2 outs and a chance to get the second run for the Unicorns. Nice curveball there, down and away. Muhammad took a big swing, but he swung right over it. Strike 1. Same pitch, almost the same results. Thrown behind the runner, and they might get him. No, they did not. Whew, that was a close call. Very good throw over there by the catcher. Sam Kuiper threw behind the runner at second base. They almost got him. Muhammad took a big swing, but fouled it. 2 curveballs for the Muhammad, and another curveball right in there, I believe. Wow, they didn't call that pitch. It looked like a really good pitch. Not quite sure where that missed, whether that was up or in, because in my opinion, it looked like it didn't miss on either one of them. Either way, 1-2 the count. Muhammad in the same location, only this time with a fastball. And so Osterbeek cruises right through the bottom half of the 5th inning. Fantastic job there by the starting pitcher for the Rabbits. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move over to the top half of the 6th. Coming up. So Sam Kuiper making his 3rd appearance, I believe, in this game. Receives some words of wisdom from the dugouts. Keep your head in the game. We're not there yet. 66-mile-an-hour curveball. Hit a mile high. Caught by the second baseman for the first out. So 1 pitch, 1 out is how we start the top half of the 6th. Matis Grau, the shortstop. Jersey number 12. Matis Grau, another kid from a baseball family. His family also responsible for setting up the play ball clinics, where they get a bunch of professional baseball players and try to school the youth on how to hit a ball hard like Matis Grau just did right here. A ball hit way deep into the outfield. And he's going to jog in there safely and round second base in the gap in the 7.5 hole, right between the left fielder and the center fielder. It was a 72-mile-an-hour fastball, and Matiz Krau was all over it. Stand-up double. So, something the Krau family can be proud of. Good, solid contact there by their young prospect. So he put himself in scoring position with 1 out. And Van het Klooster digs in, looking to drive in the 6th run in scoring position at second base to extend that lead. Very hittable pitch. Looked like a strike for a long time, and then at the end, kind of cut back to the inside corner for the righty. But this left-handed pitcher is not giving up just yet. Tom Carl at the plate. Disrupt the timing of the pitcher. Trying to get into his own groove is Van het Klooster. Knowing fully well, and as most baseball players do, that a 4-run lead is simply not enough. Looking over his shoulder, and another big drive in the same spot as Matiz Krau. And that's going to drive in the runner from second base, and another stand-up double, rounded and well for Van het Klooster. So the Rabbits all over Rotterdam pitching 2 times in a row. Big drives to the 7.5 hole. Back-to-back. Another product of a baseball family here in the Netherlands. Beljaarts, the first baseman. Beljaarts played 15 games, 51 plate appearances. First pitch missed up and away. Beljaarts scored 12 times this season. He's got 13 hits. Doesn't have any. He's got 11 singles, guys, and 2 doubles. So Sam Nijman, the relief pitcher, the lefty, falls behind on Beljaarts, 2-0. That pitch catches the top part of the strike zone with a fastball. And thrown in the dirt, trying to advance. Did he get him on a foot? They're going to call him out. That might be true. Very tough to see from over here. But another very wonderful action there. A little bit of a wild pitch there by Sam Nijman. Salazar Mata tried to keep that ball in front of him. Couldn't really do it. Spinned around, picked the ball up with his bare hand and made an accurate throw to the third baseman, who I believe tagged him on the foot. Obviously no chance for a replay here, but I think the field umpire might have got that call right. Here's another ball hit to the same third baseman, who this time around rounds the field play, gets behind the ball, gets his momentum to first base, and throws him out accurately. Either way, the 2 stand-up doubles back-to-back see to it that the Rabbits score the 6th run in this Academy Final junior level. We're going to play 9 innings, guys. No time limit. Why should we? The sun is shining. And the Unicorns are going to really have to do something to turn this thing back into a ball game. 6-1. in favor of the Rabbits. And the Rabbits, of course, have a way bigger bench than the Unicorns do. The Unicorns really only have 11 players. They still have another lefty pitcher in the bullpen, Brandon Herbold. But the Rabbits, of course, have a total of somewhere in the range of 15 players that they can choose from. The problem with the Unicorns, of course, is the fact that, unfortunately, they had to deal with some injuries. Their lineup, of course, bigger than 11 players. No academy starts off with 11 players in the season. They've just been unlucky. And they haven't managed to keep everybody healthy in their rotation and in their dugout. Jorli Franson, he's out. Twisted his knee in spring training. Valuable player as well for the Unicorns. Either way, I'm pretty sure the Unicorns are saying that's not something we can work with now. Chop foul at the plate for Muhammad. Excuse me. That's not. Is that Muhammad? I'm sorry. It's Jenden. Oh, so Sprock is in there, the number 3 hitter. And in the meantime, the pitcher threw a very beautiful curveball. Another one. So what can I say? The combination, as I mentioned before, of the fastball around 80 miles an hour, this changeup 70 miles an hour, over to the second baseman who can't get it out of his glove. Had to charge hard and really should have tried to charge a little harder to the second baseman and then throw that thing from down right above the ground instead of coming all the way up with it. There's no time for that. Speedy runner, so no time. Sprock, the center fielder, of course, has good speed to cover all that ground. So nobody out. Maybe a chance here for the Unicorns and a base hit. Maybe. No, it's not. Fade away throw from the second baseman. And, oh, the first baseman cannot hold on to the ball. That would have been a wonderful double play. The second baseman, Fonseca, reached out on his forehand side, twisted and turned, faded away, and threw a strike over to the shortstop, Matis Grau. With a good transition and plenty of time to throw to the first baseman, but unfortunately the first baseman, Belliards, simply did not catch the ball and he dropped it. Would have been a wonderful double play. Big curveball here again. Oosterbeek, not taken out of his concentration, not mad at his infield, and these are the things in finals that you want to see from these young players. He's not upset at all. Another curveball misses inside this time. Keep your head in the game. There's a lot of baseball left. So the Rabbits appear to be in total control of this game so far. So Roger reaches first base on a ball that was dropped by the first baseman, Belliards. And now batting for the Unicorns, swinging and missing on a curveball down and away, is Ahmad. Chris Groenemans, nice little remark to make about this young kid here who loves this game of baseball as much as he does. Big drive into the 7.5 hole. No outfielder will get there. And this, with 2 outs, should be able to score the runner all the way. The ball is not cut well by the shortstop. It bounces off his glove, and Rotterdam gets the second run safely across home plate. Big drive there by Groenemans. I was about to say this kid drives 120 kilometers every day to make it to practice. And then, of course, another 120 kilometers back to his home place where he lives. You got to really love this sport. And it's paying off so far. We want to thank his mother for driving him around, or his father, whoever drives this kid around. Yeah. He's safely positioned at second base, otherwise known as scoring position. The DH, Mac Myers, looking to drive him in. Fastball in there for a strike. So Mac Myers, the designated hitter, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. This pitch just a bit in. Shook him off the plate. That's going to open the outside corner for that tremendous curveball. And it's a changeup that missed away, and the catcher cannot hold on to that thing either. So that's going to advance the runner from second to third. He was already in scoring position, but of course at this age group, sometimes these pitchers get a little wild, especially on a cold, chilly day like this. Yes, sometimes the sun breaks through, but it's definitely a chilly morning here in Amsterdam. So Groenemans at third base with 2 outs. Mac Myers draws a walk. So Rotterdam right back in this thing. Now batting for the Unicorns is the catcher, number 15, Gabriel Salazar Mata. Runners at the corner here for Rotterdam. Fastball taken just a bit up. Good eye there by Salazar Mata. Trying to stay patient. Trying to force that pitcher with a fastball. There goes no runner from first base. Whatever that did seemed to have distracted the pitcher just a little bit as he released that pitch just a little early and missed inside. 2 balls and no strikes here on Salazar Mata. Another one, so 3-0 here now. And trailing about 4 runs, you might just want to take this pitch, see if you can load him up. Like we said before, we're going to play 9 innings. We're in the bottom half of the 6th, so a lot of baseball left still. The 3-0 on Salazar Mata. Right in there for a strike. Taken all the way wisely. Rotterdam needs runners. So on the 3-1 pitch, you got to put a good swing on that thing, and he did, but he fouled it back to the backstop. So now the count runs full. Runner at first base should be taken off here with 2 outs and a full count. So if Salazar Mata does make solid contact, we could see that runner end up at third base or better. And a pitch. Hit for a base hit in the 5-hole. And there's the runner from first base ending up at third. So Salazar Mata with a very important hit there, an RBI, right past the diving third baseman. On the backhand side, couldn't hold on to that ball. Shot right by him. And so Rotterdam very pleased with this result here in the bottom half of the 6th inning as they get 2 more runs. And now one of the coaches for the Rabbits is going to ask for a timeout, talk to his starter, who's so far done a fantastic job Only gave up 1 run in 5 innings, and then in the 6th inning, gave up 2 more. You're still leading by 3 runs. And it appears that the coach has not made the decision to go to the bullpen just yet, just trying to calm his starter down here. 2 outs, runners at the corner. The game is slowly but surely developing into something more and more interesting here, ladies and gentlemen. And he's not decided to take him off the mound. Still has a lot of faith in his ace. So Fan Frederici laid a sacrifice bunt down the other time. Very speedy guy. Plays right field for Rotterdam. Salazar Mata, not the fastest kid on the block. Very decent lead at first base. Fastball misses inside. Ball 1. So 2 outs, runners at the corner. The score 6-3. And a ball on the number 9 hitter for Rotterdam, Fan Frederici. 73-mile-an-hour fastball in the bottom half of the zone for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Fan Frederici. A changeup misses down and in. 2 balls and a strike. So Fan Frederici should be looking fastball all the way here, as the pitcher does not want to run the counts at 3-1. And the fastball indeed thrown, but thrown for a ball way up in the zone. 75 miles an hour, misses. And so the pitcher, fully aware of the fact that he cannot throw another ball here to load him up, to bring it to the leadoff guy for Rotterdam and their best hitter, Amarencio Franca, who's on deck. And a fastball hit very deep into center field, but camping underneath that one is a center fielder who'll haul it in with 2 hands. And the damage is limited for a routine fly out to center field. Fan Frederici knew that pitch was coming, made some solid contact, but unfortunately hung up there way too long, and it was hit straight to the center fielder. But the Rotterdam Unicorns do get 2 runs, and they cut the Rabbits' lead down by half, as we're now dealing with a score of 6-3 in favor of the Rabbits. Now the Rabbits, of course, as I mentioned before, have a way bigger bench, more kids to choose from. It's tough to make out the bullpen from over here. But we're moving along to the top half of the 7th inning, and you would expect their starting pitcher to maybe at any time soon be relieved from his duties. And as one of the coaches for the Rabbits walked over to the scorer's booth, we thought perhaps maybe he would announce another pitcher in the bottom half of the 7th, but not yet. So the Rabbits stick to their guns. So far, so good. Oosterbeek still leads this game, 6-3. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The top half of the 7th. Terrence Heemskerk is going to lead it off for the Rabbits. Terrence Heemskerk, very capable hitter. He's got 16 hits in the regular season. Fastball in the corner away for strike one. Sam Naiman looking for a 1-2-3 inning to get his team back out there. Curveball that didn't really break too much. Salazar Mata kept it in front of him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another 60-mile-an-hour curveball. And these are the curveballs that don't start off being a strike and don't end up being a strike, so nobody's biting on that pitch. Now he's got to come back with a fastball, which he does at 71 miles an hour for a strike. So the count tied at 2 apiece. Terrence Heemskerk waits for his 2-2 pitch. And a fastball on the outside corner for strike 3. Caught him looking. So unfortunately, Terrence strikes out. Obviously, with the 2-2 count, you're expected to look at the fastball, but it was taken all the way. So could I help you? No, thank you. I'm just looking. On Terrence, the previous hitter. Now in the batter's box is Blyleven. Chops it foul. So quickly the count, 1 ball, 1 strike on Blyleven. Naiman with a pretty decent pace of work. Lefty-lefty matchup. 68-mile-an-hour pitch in on the hands. Matt Blyleven out in front of that one just a little bit. Hits a foul ball down the right field line. So the pitcher jumps out in front, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Try to give him a fastball up and away in the zone. Quick check with the hands there by Matt Blyleven, but he didn't bite. Call the ball. So 2-2 on Matt Blyleven. And a little excuse me swing. Hit off the inside part of the bat and popped up. The catcher, Salazar Mata, gave it chase, but no chance to catch that thing. So the count remains 2-2 on Matt Blyleven. The 2-2, big curveball, 57 miles an hour. The lack of velocity should have brought that pitch back down, but it never did. So the count runs full on Matt Blyleven, who's facing Sam Naiman, the lefty. And so a fastball, little comebacker, dribbler to the pitcher. He'll pick it up with one hand and throw it with the other. 2 down. The second baseman, Van Zegelen, jersey number 11. And that's going to be caught by the right fielder. And the quick inning, the 1-2-3 inning that Sam Naiman and his Rotterdam Unicorn kids were so much in need of is here. A quick good morning, good afternoon, and good night here in the top half of the 7th as we move to the bottom half of the 7th. The score, 6-3, still in favor of the Rabbits. And so Rotterdam looking to creep back into this game. And they've got 9 more outs to do it. So will 9 outs be enough to get at least 3 more runs in? And we're still looking at Oosterbeek, the starting pitcher, who's throwing 65-mile-an-hour curveballs with some good movement on it as he's warming up, and that's a 75-mile-an-hour fastball, guys. Baseball players will tell you you can have approximately a 10-mile-an-hour difference between your curve and off-speed stuff in your fastball. That's enough to fool a hitter's timing. Obviously, if you can throw 90, it's that much better. But if you can throw 80 and throw a 65-mile-an-hour curveball, that can be very effective, as we can clearly see here in the form of Oosterbeek. Fastball smoked down the left field line. And this time Franca is going to dig in and reach second base quite easily. Pumping up his dugout, looking back at him, telling him, let's get going. This thing is not over yet. So looking for a 1-2 punch here with Muhammad now digging in. And Muhammad, also a very capable hitter. Muhammad has got 14 hits in the regular season, guys. And another double here. Curveball right down the middle. Started up and in, but broke right through the center of the plate. Pretty sure Muhammad wasn't expecting that, but what do you expect if you're a good power hitter? And that thing is popped up very high to the right side of the outfield, and it's going to fall into foul ground. Amarencio Franca played tag up on that thing. Looking to run over to third base with 1 out. And in my opinion, Amarencio Franca is going to be a very important runner in this game. Because if they can get that 4th run in here in the 7th, that leadoff double, if they can cash that thing in, it's going to be a really interesting outcome here. Muhammad back in the box now. And a fastball, 76 miles an hour. Look more like a routine 4-seamer up in the zone. Probably would have been a ball, but Muhammad looked at it, wanted to put a good stroke on that thing. 0-2 the count. Another fastball. He tried to climb the ladder on him this time. But Muhammad wasn't biting. Kept his head in the game. But that fastball up in the zone is now going to give the curveball a big chance. But nice backhand grab there by the third baseman, who's going to make a long throw off target, I believe. And he's off the bag. Yes, he was. Also, another very incredible situation here by Amarencio Franca, who decided to take off from second base to third base on a ball hit in front of him. Not a very common thing you would teach a young baseball player, but then again, he's 14 years old. And he saw that third baseman make a drop step on his backhand side and a very long throw over to first base. So reading it all the way and taking off as soon as he thought that he could go, got him to third base safely. So now the runners are at the corner with nobody out, and a real good chance here for Rotterdam to really get back into this game. 76-mile-an-hour fastball that never was a strike until he swung at it. Very unfortunate decision to take there, because the pressure is definitely also back on the Rabbits right now with the runners at the corner and nobody out. Now that ball appeared to be a changeup, kept in front by the catcher, but not handled all the way cleanly, so the ball was loose, and that saw to it that the runner from first base made it over to second base, so no more force outs at second base, and now 2 runners in scoring position. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to have a ball game. Curveball, poor swing, 63 miles an hour. And so Sprock really needs to see to it that he stays disciplined at the plate, because right now he's only swung at balls. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sprock, the center fielder for Rotterdam. A fastball hit on very late, and he fouled it off to the right-hand side of the infield. He does, however, stay alive, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sprock, the center fielder, very good speed, number 3 hitter in the lineup. Put a good swing on that thing the other time around. If he can do that again, he could drive in 2, and that would bring the score within 1. Still in favor of the Rabbits. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Curveball smoked into left field. That's going to drive in at least 1 if it's not caught. It's not caught, and the runner from second base played halfway. They're going to drive in 2 with that big swing. A stand-up double by Sprock. And as predicted, this game is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Sprock, the center fielder, on a hanging curveball that he crushed into left field, right over the head of the left fielder. Amarencio Franca was the runner at third base, wisely played tag up, made sure that that thing was not caught. Ran over to to home plate. And the runner at second base played halfway. Thought to himself, if you drop that thing, son, I'm also scoring, and that's what he did. So 2 runners score, and now for the second time around, the Rabbits coach is out, looking to make a pitching change. Oosterbeek held on for 6 full innings, but they got to take him out now. And we're going to try to find out exactly who this left-handed pitcher will be. Number 74 is Martin Smit. And so Martin Smit, the left-handed reliever, looking to stop the bleeding here. May I remind you, Rotterdam does not have an out. And they do have a runner in scoring position to tie this thing right back on up. So if you're a fan, you should be on the edge of your seat right now. The Rabbits, throughout about 6 innings, cruised right through this thing. Outstanding pitcher by Oosterbeek, the starter for the Rabbits. But now that we've arrived here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, Rotterdam Unicorns realized they had 9 more outs to work with. And so far, so good for them here in this bottom half of the 7th. Cashed in a bunch of runs. And the Rabbits are not out of the woods just yet. They still have a runner in scoring position to deal with. So Martin Smit, I should say, plays pitcher, first base, and also left field. Wants to make his debut appearance in the Overgangsklasse next year. Martin Smit, the left-handed reliever, is 15 years old. looks and deals with a 75-mile-an-hour fastball in the corner for a strike. So Roger takes a changeup just below the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Roger is the number 4 hitter in the Rotterdam lineup. War rhythms being played now as beats are being hit in the dugouts. 73 miles an hour. Catcher checks the swing of Roger, but Roger did not go around, says home plate umpire. And so therefore, the pitcher falls behind 2 balls and a strike. And that ball misses down and away at 77 miles an hour. So staying in the zone is Roger, the first baseman for Rotterdam. Wise decision, because even though the Rabbits are still leading by 1 run, the pressure is definitely on them. And a fastball at 70 miles an hour on the inside corner for a strike makes the count all the way full. So ladies and gentlemen, the pressure on here with the payoff pitch. An open base, of course, at first. And that's where he'll go. Pretty sure he tried to stay on the outside part of the plate there and not serve him anything right through the middle with the runner in scoring position and an open base at first. Either way, nobody out. And stepping in the batter's box is Ahmad, the number 5 hitter. Obviously, Rotterdam can choose to lay the bunt down here, so the third baseman is playing the wheelhouse with an open fielding position towards first base. And with nobody out, they're going to try to stay out of the double play. And the first pitch is a 67-mile-an-hour changeup, I believe. Taken for a ball. Signs being given by the third base coach here, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting baseball games here with runners on first and second. Corners are playing in, looking for the potential bunt. And that ball misses up and away. So the pitcher seems to be phased a little bit with number 21 squaring around to bunt. Ahmad, the number 5 hitter, knows fully well that he's got to be part of this team and lay that bunt down effectively. And this pitch is called a strike. It looked really low to me, in my opinion, but it was called a strike anyway. So Ahmad, with the 2-1 count, looking to lay the sack bunt down and move the runners over to second and third. And now he takes a big hack at this thing. 67-mile-an-hour fastball right down Broadway. Fouled it straight back. So the count now 2-2. Still nobody out. The bunt is off with 2 strikes. So now hopefully for Rotterdam, they can still move these runners over. And a fastball, actually never a strike to start with. And not a very productive out, obviously, for Ahmad, who should have laid the bunt down. Unfortunately for Rotterdam, he strikes out. So he'll pass the baton to Groenemans. Groenemans is the left fielder who fouls the first pitch off to the right side, pops it up. Strike 1. So Rotterdam really need to move these runners over with less than 2 outs and try to stay away from the force out situation. So Groenemans, the outfielder, takes a 75-mile-an-hour fastball in the bottom part of the strike zone. Definitely looked like a strike to me. 0-2 the count now on Groenemans. In the on-deck circle, the DH, Mac Myers. Oh, and a very nice pitch. And Groenemans looked back at the home plate umpire. Not quite sure why he did that. Looked like a really good pitch right there. So Rotterdam, with runners on first and second, can't seem to move these runners over. And this ball is going to shoot through, and that's going to do the job. Obviously now with 2 outs, the only thing that's going to really cash these guys in is either a passed ball or a base hit. Mac Myers, the DH, very capable hitter. Mac Myers has got 11 hits in the season so far. .77-mile-an-hour fastball down into the corner. Taken for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mac Myers. And a nice slider. For a strike. Looked like a fastball for a good period of time. Up and away, and then slid back across the plate. And that pitch looked like another strike to me, but it's not. According to home plate umpire, it looked like a really good pitch. It looked like another slider there. Thrown at 67 miles an hour again. Almost looks like the same pitch, just a little bit lower, but I guess it missed the bottom part of the strike zone. So the count 2-2. And the fastball spiked in front of home plate, blocked by the catcher to keep that run from scoring at third base. So the count runs full here on the DH, Mac Myers. And with 1 swing of the bat, Rotterdam could jump out with the lead here. 2 outs, the runner from second base will take off. And that pitch is down. 78 miles an hour, good velocity for Martin Smith, only 15 years old. But he missed the zone. So that'll load the bases with 2 outs. Salazar Mata hit an RBI single in his last at bat. Can he do it again? Pitch, 77 miles an hour, taken for a ball, down and away. Gabriel trying to be selective, staying in his zone, looking for a fastball to hit. And this pitch at 76 miles an hour misses on the other side of home plate. 2-0. Emotions are running high here, ladies and gentlemen. Crowds and cheers from the stands of those spectators that were allowed to come over to the ballpark. The dugout is being used as a drum machine right now by Rotterdam. They're feeling the energy level going up. 2 balls, no strikes on Gabriel Salazar Mata. Bases loaded. And that pitch is taken down, 76 miles an hour. So Salazar Mata not biting, not flinching. 3-0 in his last at bat. The pitcher got into a 3-0 count. Then he took that pitch all the way for a strike. And then with the 3-1 count, he managed to knock in a run. So I guess I missed the call here, because this was the 3-0 pitch, and so now it's 3-1. So he took that pitch all the way, like I said earlier. And this pitch is taken down, and so the base on balls will force in the runner from third base, and this game is tied, ladies and gentlemen. Not the prettiest way to tie the game up, but considering that they've already put some good swings on balls in the same inning, And being patient and disciplined at the plate sometimes is just as important as putting good swings on balls. So Salazar Mata with a great at bat. Stayed patient. It's very easy for a young hitter to hack around and be the hero. Try to drive in 2 runs and get the lead. But Gabriel Salazar Mata, the catcher for Rotterdam, kept his eye on the ball, stayed in his zone, and drew a walk. What better way to start your Saturday morning than to have a cup of coffee back home, maybe a couple of scrambled eggs to start off your day, and watch a beautiful ball game. The game is tied, guys, 6 apiece. 75-mile-an-hour fastball misses the zone. So one could understand why the coaching staff for the Rabbits took a significant long time to make a switch. Because with all due respect, their relief guy is not throwing strikes at this point, and the bases are loaded. The game is tied. And batting now for Rotterdam is Van Frederici, the right fielder, the number 9 hitter, who's in front of the count 2-0. And that's a strike. So the left-handed reliever, Martin Smit, 15 years old, has found the strike zone. The count now, 2 outs, 2 balls and a strike, and another changeup at 69 miles an hour. Caught the inside corner. Two and two, 2 outs. Van Frederici takes another pitch, and that looks like a strike. He strikes out looking. That is really unfortunate with the bases loaded, but Rotterdam right back in this thing. 6-6 is just as good as nothing to nothing. And we're probably going to have some words of wisdom. We are seeing signs that perhaps Rotterdam is looking to make a pitching change. The only pitcher that I believe Rotterdam still has available would be Brandon Herbold. But instead, what I'm seeing right now is Amarencio Franca on the mound. Amarencio Franca, of course, by trade, a shortstop, was throwing 70 miles an hour. Oh, okay, they're geeking us. They're fooling with us. I was about to say, he's got a great arm. Has definitely pitched when he was younger. Was throwing 70 miles an hour at the age of 12. So no pitching change. Sam Neyman, the lefty, the relief pitcher for Rotterdam, still on a mound as far as we can tell. We got a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Tied at 6 apiece. Moving over to the top half of the 8th inning. What team will be able to call themselves champions of the academy level in the junior division this year in 2020? As mentioned before, none of these kids are, of course, playing to their full potential. What baseball player really is at this weird 2020 season that we're dealing with. Corona brought so much drama and mayhem to the world. Nevertheless, we're so pleased to be here at the ballpark in Amsterdam, watching these youngsters do what they love most, which is play baseball. And so Miguel Willem hails from Aruba originally. Left-handed hitter, right-handed thrower. Take strike one on the outside corner. And this thing is crushed down the right field line, all over that pitch. But he's going to fall behind 0-2. He's just out in front a little bit. So the lefty-lefty matchup, Sam Naiman versus Miguel Willem. Catcher sets up away. And Sam Naiman misses up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top half of the 8th. Tied at 6 apiece. Curveball. Broke down nicely, but missed off the plate. Started off pretty high in the zone, and then broke down, but it didn't catch the plate. So 2-2 the count on Willem. And here's a ground ball right to where the shortstop is not playing. Kept his hands in nicely and rolled it over to a spot where they ain't. And that's what they teach you. You got to hit it where they ain't. Well, the second baseman wasn't really playing there. If he would have been anywhere closer to a double play depth position, would have been able to cleanly field that thing and easily. But he was shading a little bit more towards the first base side, thinking the left-handed hitter would roll more to that side of the infield, but that's what happens if you keep your hands in. And we're looking at a pitching change, ladies and gentlemen. The coach, Sluiter, will take the ball from Sam Naiman, and he'll move to another left-handed hitter, another left-handed pitcher, Brendan Herbold. Brendan Herbold, another player from Rotterdam. In the 2016 season, threw more than 100 strikeouts in the regular season. So definitely someone you can call on to strike guys out. And that's what the Rotterdam Unicorns need right now. They got to keep these Rabbits kids off the base pads. Give you some info on the velo of Brandon Herbold. 70 miles an hour, look like a changeup right there. I'm pretty sure he can throw a little harder than that. .71. Does look like a fastball. See the backspin on the seams there. 65. .76. So Brandon Herbold came up through the Neptunes pupil level. And Brandon Herbold will have to see to it that this runner does not advance himself over to scoring position into second base. And a 78-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle is not bunted down, as that was clearly the idea, to try to get the go-ahead run into scoring position. Instead, he'll pull the baton back. Now he shows bunt again. And a very good pickoff attempt there. I was almost wondering why the first baseman wasn't creeping in on that bunt attempt right there, but they decided to go for a pickoff to keep that runner short at first base. Clearly showing bunt here, the sack bunt in effect, trying to move the runner over to scoring position. And this bunt is popped up. The third baseman will grab it and throw him out at first. And wisely covering third base is Amarencio Franca, as that base, of course, was left vacant being that Mohammed had to creep in from third base, pick that ball up, and record the out. Either way, the plan has worked. They've moved the runner over effectively to second base. So right now, with one gone, number 24 is in a position, Sam Kuiper that is, to drive in the go-ahead run in scoring position. And that clipped him. Yes, it did. 76 miles an hour on the fastball. Held on just a bit too long there by the tall left-hander, as it probably grazed the shin area of Sam Kuiper. He'll gladly accept and make it over to first base. So one down, runners on first and second here in the top half of the eighth. And this ball is a wild pitch right here. And if they're not careful, then I was going to say that runner from third base might make it all the way over to home plate, as Brandon Herbold looked in awe at his own wild pitch and almost forgot to cover home plate. Broke over there quite late, but still in time. And what we're seeing here is an intentional walk on the number 3 hitter in the lineup. The number 3 hitter, I believe number 15. I believe what they did is they put in a pinch hitter, I should say, number 15. We're going to try to figure out who number 15 was that made it over to first base on the intentional walk. Or perhaps it was Kraul, the regular number 3 hitter. I'm not sure. Looked like a different jersey number there. Either way, bases loaded, one down. And serious problems here for Rotterdam. Fastball right in there for a strike. Brandon Herbold not fazed with any of the issues that they've faced already. Stays in the zone, keeps his head cool. Big swing and a miss on an elevated fastball. So Matisse Kraul was indeed the intentional walk over to first base. I believe we had the jersey numbers written down incorrectly. Either way, the number 4 hitter almost got hit in the head there. Long stare back to the mound by Van Klooster, the number 4 cleanup hitter in the Rabbits lineup. And boy, would he like to take a good solid hack at this next pitch here with the bases loaded and one down. Van Klooster fouls this pitch straight back into the backstop. All over that thing. I think Brandon Herbold got away with one right there. An elevated fastball. Good velocity, though. 76 miles an hour. So the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes and 1 out. Van Klooster looks in for something to hit. And a foul tip in the mitt catches him for strike 3. Held on to by Salazar Mata. A big out here. 75 miles an hour. And he clipped it into the mitt. So that's a huge out there for Rotterdam, ladies and gentlemen. Bases were loaded, are loaded. But that big second out is huge. Can't play the sac fly to drive in the go-ahead run no more now. Any base is a good base on a field play, and he's going to get hit by the pitch. And if you've ever seen a take it for the team one, then this would qualify just as good as any of them. All smiles is number 32, Belliarts. Probably the best way to get a fastball, too, is around the butt area. And he'll gladly accept that thing. Little chest pump there with his first base coach. Brandon Herbold just holds on to that baseball at times a little bit too long and then jerks the pitch to the right-handed hitters. So the lead now in favor of the Rabbits. Terrence Heemskerk steps into the batter's box, the left-handed hitter with the bases loaded. And almost like a protective swing there on a fastball on the outside corner. Not your typical first swing that you would take on your first fastball. Either way, he fouls it off. 0-1. And a curveball at 64 miles an hour catches the outside corner. The lefty-lefty matchup. I think that's what Brandon Herbold should do right here, is try to stay away on him. Anything from allowing this hitter to pull the ball to the right side. But instead, Amarencio with a nice grab. Oh, they got him at second base on a force out, ladies and gentlemen. A diving fielding stop by Amarencio Franca, who played it off of one bounce on the forehand play, turned his body around, threw over to the second baseman who covered second base, and they got the force out at second base. Wow. Fantastic play there by Amarencio Franca. And in all honesty, I'm not sure whether he did or he did not get that guy at second base, who dove in there head first. Might have gotten his hand on the bag in time. Can't tell you. Way too far for me to see. No replay chances here. But what a fantastic stop there by the 14-year-old shortstop Amarencio Franca to not only keep that ball in the infield and prevent the other runner from second base to score, as they immediately took off with 2 outs. No reason to stick around and look at the ball. But also get the force out at second base. Great defensive highlight here. One of the best plays we've seen so far in the game. And so the game still tied, not tied anymore, of course, because of that hit by the pitch that pulled in the go-ahead run for the Rabbits. But it could have been way worse for Rotterdam if that ball wasn't kept in the infield. So we're going to move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And I'll say again, the Rotterdam Unicorns are trailing by a run. The score is 7-6. Still on a mound for the Rabbits is the lefty relief pitcher, number 74, Martin Smith. Martin Smith faced some difficulties in the previous inning. And for some reason in baseball, this happens a lot. The guy that records the last out is the leadoff hitter in the next inning. That seems to happen a lot in baseball. I'd like to have a statistic on that. See how much that happens. Either way, Amarencio Franca, the guy that made the wonderful grab at the shortstop position, takes a fastball, which looked off the plate in my opinion. I'm right behind home plate, but it's called the strike anyway. Not very weird to not take a swing at that thing. Changing speeds is the lefty thrower Martin Smits, and it kind of like fooled Amarencio Franca. 0-2 behind an account now. Time called as that ball behind home plate is recovered by the guy in the on-deck circle. Muhammad, the third baseman, who's on deck. And a changeup got him, and he tagged him as well. So that'll record the first out of the bottom half of the 8th inning. Amarencio fooled by that pitch. So Muhammad finds his way back to the batter's box. Fastball at 70 miles an hour, catches the outside corner for strike one. Like a slider right there, 68 miles an hour. Throwing in the dirt, and Muhammad didn't bite. 74 miles an hour on a fastball, way away. 2-1 the count on Muhammad. .75 miles an hour on a fastball just off the plate. Didn't miss by much. Very similar to the pitch that was called a strike earlier, but this one definitely a little bit more off the plate. And that pitch is down in the dirt, not only off the plate. 73 miles an hour with that fastball, but Muhammad showing some plate discipline. Can't seem to get his shin protector off his body. Now he does. Just a little high five there from first base coach Shurti Tremus. Shurti Tremus, one of the coaches at the Unicorns, also runs his own clinics. Has a great competition idea. And a ball that is looped into right field and off a one bouncer, picked up by the right fielder, who tries to get the force out at second base, but no chance. Muhammad was too fast, read that ball nicely, immediately took off and saw that that ball would fall in right shallow field. So a walk and a bloop single in right field sees to it that Rotterdam has the tying run in scoring position with one out. Big swing right there by Roger. Just a bit late and hit it off the inside part of the bat, so the ball pops up, foul, not a play to the right side for strike one. One down, the score still 7-6. Runners on first and second. Way off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Roger. Stepping off, the pitch is rubber. Is the lefty relief pitcher, Martin Smith, checking the runner back to second base. Here's the pitch, and that ball is hit well and dropped by the right fielder, who had a very awkward first step, thought that ball was hit harder than expected, and on his way home is Muhammad, who scores the tying run. And in the meantime, there's another runner taking off, got a little bit too excited all the way over to third base and tagged out before he could reach there safely. That's unfortunate. Bit off a little bit more than he could chew. That is unfortunate for Rotterdam because they already had the runner in scoring position in second base. But he's tagged out. So either way, a very awkward read there by the right fielder, Van het Klooster, who stood in awe of that ball hit, thought it was hit a little bit harder than it really was, so he stood back for a little too long, and then all of a sudden realized he had to take a couple steps in to try to catch that thing, couldn't do so anymore, dropped it in front of him, and a good read with one out by Muhammad, who immediately took off and scored on that play. In case of a tie in the ninth, I'm here to inform you we're going to be playing with a tiebreaker rule, which will mean that we will start every inning off with the runner on first and second. nobody out. 72 miles an hour, misses away. Absolutely a fantastic game to be watching on a Saturday if you're enjoying youth baseball in the Netherlands. The game tied at 7 apiece. 2 down. And this ball is going to shoot away 72 miles an hour. Tried to turn his left shoulder, the catcher is, and keep that ball in front of him, but he couldn't do so, so it kind of like bounced behind him. And a hustling runner at first makes his way over safely to second, now in scoring position. A called strike. Chop foul at the plate. All over that one is number 21, Yahya Ahmad. And Yahya Ahmad still looking to drive that runner in from second base. And that ball is popped up high to the right side of the infield. The second baseman will camp underneath it and almost collides with the right fielder. So we've seen some leather defense problems actually on both teams, but I think we've seen approximately 4 to 5 errors in this game so far. What do you expect? They're still young kids, and as mentioned, they're not fully into their routine, taking into consideration, of course, the Corona season that we're in. Nevertheless, things like calling for a pop-up is something that you really need to do, as that second baseman and the right fielder almost collided there as well. But picked up the last out as the pop-up was caught by the second baseman. But not before Rotterdam ties the game up at 7 apiece. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move to the top half of the 9th inning. And digging in is number 16, Mart Blijleven. First pitch, again, held on to a little bit too long by Herbold, who seems to be missing his fastball away on the left-handed hitters. We want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that there's more good baseball ahead today in the Netherlands. Another fastball misses up in the zone. Of course, we've got the Holland Series special today. And we're going to be watching that later on today, guys. Make sure you tune into that. You catch that on YouTube. On the Louis J's YouTube page for some coverage of the Holland Series today. A 72-mile-an-hour fastball thrown by Brandon Herbold. Catches the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Matt Blijleven. Curveball, clips him in the elbow. Matt Blijleven will gladly accept that thing, as he understands fully well that in the last inning to be played, unless we go to extras with the tiebreaker, he is going to represent the go-ahead run and potentially the winning run. Matt Blijleven at first base, got a steal earlier in the game. Not the fastest kid, but a good read will get you a long way, and a good jump definitely will too. 75-mile-an-hour fastball misses by Brandon up in the zone. Ball 1. Obviously, dealing with a left-handed thrower here, it's a little harder to take that proper lead and good jump. The Rabbits, any which way, want to see that runner into scoring position. So they've got the bunt sign on. And Van Zegelen, the second baseman, shows bunt. And that ball is chopped foul at the plate. So the bunt, you're always taught to hit it in the ground. Hit the ball at the top part of the ball. The top part of the baseball was bunted. Just got on top of that one just a little bit too much. As the ball did touch the bat, but ran underneath behind the batter's box for a foul ball. So 2 balls and a strike, still showing bunt, moving Matt Blijleven off. Over to second base, but a pickoff attempt there will push him back to first base. Just a show-me pickoff move there. Not sure why he's doing that, because obviously they're not trying to steal, they're trying to lay the bunt down, which so far they're not capable of doing, and I don't think they will, because now the Rabbits are dealing with 2 strikes, so the bunt sign must be off. Check out your baseball culture on the link of Louis J's YouTube page. Also for the coverage of the World Series, of the Holland Series, I should say. Fastball misses up in the zone here on Van Echelen. Bunt sign is off. Signs being shown there by the third base coach. Over to Matt Blijleven at first base. Another show-me pickoff move by the lefty, Brandon Herbel. So a lot of attention goes out to Matt Blijleven, who is, of course, the go-ahead run and potentially the winning run in this game here in the 9th inning. And that ball misses up in the zone, so a walk will push Matt Blijleven over to second base. And what better chance now to advance not 1 runner into scoring position, but perhaps 2. So Matt Blijleven makes it over to second base, not on account of a successful bunt, but a walk. And so Willem, left-hander, very good bunter, will be showing bunt here as well, and takes a strike. I was about to say, that looked like a strike to me. Didn't lay the bunt down. Third baseman playing the wheelhouse. In on the grass almost. And a very nice bunt. No way to do anything else but to throw it over to first base, and that'll successfully move the runners over to second and third. So a wonderful sacrifice bunt by Willem, a very good bunter indeed. And in that sense, turns the lineup over to the top of the order, the DH, Aguilera. Aguilera, right-handed hitter. He himself laid a bunt down earlier in the game. Pretty sure that won't be the plan this time. Infield is playing in. Very interesting if they still have the bottom half of the 9th inning, but the entire infield is playing in. Fastball up in the zone, but not in the zone, out of the zone, according to the home plate umpire. So taken for a ball is the first pitch on Aguilera. And that pitch, in there for a strike, catches the inside corner. Curveball, very nice pitch. Looked like a strike. Yes, it was. Brandon Herbold has been throwing that curveball for years. He's been fooling hitters with it for a long period of time. Did so again successfully right now. The count, 1 ball and 2 strikes on the leadoff hitter for the Rabbits. A fastball in and off the plate. 2-2 the count now. Brandon Herbold needs to be careful that he doesn't hold on to that fastball too long. Looking for a big strikeout here. Fastball again misses. So the count runs full on the leadoff hitter, Aguilera. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do here, whether they pitch around the strike zone here with 2 runners in scoring position. I would do that right now and send all my infielders, except for the corners, back so I could turn 2 and get the Keystone back into a double play position. But they don't do that, and they bobble the ball. The third baseman, who played all the way in, couldn't get a clean handle on it. Most likely what happened in his mind is he was thinking, what should I do with this play? Should I try to throw it home and prevent the runner, the go-ahead and potential winning run from scoring, or should I throw over to first base? And when you start thinking of these things while the ball is hit, it distracts your fielding ability. And I'm not saying that's what went through his mind, but it was a pretty routine ground ball. Of course, played on AstroTurf, which some of these kids are not used to. But then again, that's a huge error. And we are experiencing light rainfall here in Amsterdam, ladies and gentlemen. Runners on first and second, 1 down, and the lead now for the Rabbits. Curveball hung up there. Center fielder will have to drift back, catch it, tag up play from second base, thrown to the cutoff man, Amarencio. And with 2 outs now, runners at the corner. So a good solid contact stroke there by number 24, Sam Kuipert. And a wrong first step for the center fielder initially, but corrected himself and still caught the ball. So the Rabbits, 1 run out in front. And now Matisse Krau, the shortstop, looking to extend that lead. Fastball misses up and away in the zone. Runners at the corner. Still very puzzled as this pitch misses up and away as well. Why, when they had the full count and the bunt was off, perhaps maybe the wisest thing would have been to really try to find a corner on the strike zone and get that guy over to first base with bases loaded so they can change up their defensive alignment and only play the corners in and the Keystone back to be able to turn 2. But nevertheless, the coaching staff decided to keep everybody played in, as they expected, I guess, a ground ball, which eventually did come. Unfortunately, wasn't fielded cleanly by the third baseman, as this pitch is thrown in there for a strike. So 3-1 now on Sem Kuiper with the runners at the corner.
Come on, Matisse.
And that ball is thrown straight into the backstop with no bounce. And that's going to drive in. And now they're going to throw behind the runner, pick it on the short hop, throw it away again. And now we've got all-around madness baseball. Off-balance throw, cover play, and they'll get the out at home plate. And all around, poor baseball there for a second. Sorry to say. A ball thrown straight into the backstop. You can't really blame these kids either, guys, because obviously the pressure is on. It's the 9th inning. The game was tied. But Brandon Herbold launched that thing straight into the backstop. And then, of course, the ball was picked up. And they threw behind a runner. And played that on a short hop, then tried to record it out at third base as the runner was trying to advance from second to third, and throw it all the way to the dugout almost. Good backup, however, by the third baseman, who fielded it and then threw an off-balance throw to the pitcher that covered home plate. He's there waiting patiently to record that last out and get out of this inning. Routed in with their last 3 outs to work with for the championship. They're trailing by 2 runs. It's 9-7 right now. So a sloppy 9th inning and a pitching change for the Rabbits. Number 34, Van het Klooster, who initially played right field, is being asked to close this thing on down. Van het Klooster with a pretty decent fastball. So they're looking for good, solid velocity mixed with a 66-mile-an-hour curveball that he also has, as he now throws 83 miles an hour. So a couple of defensive changes here. Jesper van Alem goes to left field. Mikael Willem plays center field right now. And Matt Blijleven goes to right field. And, of course, the right fielder initially was Van het Klooster, who's now pitching. And batting is Chris Groenemans, who's got an RBI in the game. And Van het Klooster starts off with a very solid fastball, but thrown for a ball. Another 83-mile-an-hour fastball on the corner for strike 1. The 1-1. 83 miles an hour right down the middle. Split the plate in half on that one. So Groenemans trying to get on base. And a curveball that missed at 68 miles an hour. Had about 2 feet of break to that thing. Incredible pitch. Might have been down when it reached home plate. Another 80-mile-an-hour fastball misses down and away. So the count now tied at 2. Excuse me, the count is full. So Groenemans trying to be the leadoff guy here and get on base. 81 miles an hour, popped a mile high to the Rotterdam dugout side, but it's out of play, and it lands on top of the dugout there. Good chase there by the catcher, who was right there. First baseman was there too. These Rotterdam kids fighting to stay alive, and the Rabbits, of course, looking to close this thing on down. So the count remains full. There's nobody out. Groenemans draws a walk at 81 miles an hour, down and away for ball 4. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach Sluiter decides to do. They want to obviously stay out of the double play. On the other hand, the runner at first base does not represent the tying run. The tying run is at the plate. Fastball, maybe a changeup, 75 miles an hour. If you can throw 83, that might have been the changeup, but it was definitely very solid velocity there. Had a 4-seam backspin on that thing, but 75 miles an hour is what the gun says, and now 78 miles an hour. This one, however, ties the count at 1 apiece. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and a runner on first. Ace is wild here. Nobody out. And a fastball, 81 miles an hour with some cut action to it. And they're going to call a balk here, ladies and gentlemen. Never came set is what I think they call. Yeah, he has to come set. It's kind of like a quick pitch. And the pitcher upset with that decision. It might have been right. I don't think he came set. So either way, I believe yes, the count is now 1-2, ladies and gentlemen, on a fastball that was thrown up and in on the hands. Curveball, beautiful pitch, 62 miles an hour. Took a long time for it to get to the plate after you see the 83-mile-an-hour fastball, but Jesus Christ, that thing definitely caught the plate, and it broke about a foot. 62 miles an hour. Gets him looking. Can't blame the kid for that one. .81 miles an hour, fastball right down the middle. And another fastball catches the outside corner. The catcher for the Unicorns is now batting, Gabriel Salazar Mata. Groenemans is in scoring position at second base and represents nothing more than just a regular run, as the Rabbits are leading by 2 runs. Pretty sure they're not too concerned about the runner at second base. They're trying to record outs at home plate. And that pitch is 80 miles an hour. Strikes out looking is the catcher. And down to their last out is Rotterdam for the season, guys. They have to get at least one more runner on to tie this thing up and take it to extra innings in the form of the tiebreaker rule. But before they get there, they got to make sure that number 22, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Fanfrederici, reaches first base any which way possible. Down to their last out is Rotterdam. 75 miles an hour on the outside corner. Call the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone here in the bottom half of the 9th. Pitch taken down. 79 miles an hour. So Fan Frederici would love to get on base and give Franca Amarencio a chance. And this is absolutely amazing. They're stealing third base again. I'm not sure if this is something they teach in the academies, but I would be very upset as a coach if I see that. It's 2 outs. He doesn't represent the tying run, so why would you steal from second base to third with the possibility of being thrown out and calling your season quits? Very weird. It's the third time we've seen this so far in this game, and I'm pretty sure they don't teach you this, but nevertheless, it's the third time that it has happened, and we've seen it on both sides. Remarkable decision here to steal third base with the count now 2-2 and 2 outs. And that's the ball game, and that's the season. We congratulate the Rabbits for the 2020 season as they are the champions. May we remind you again that it was a weird season, and these kids have given all they have. And rightfully very happy are the Rabbits with this beautiful outcome. They were basically leading the game throughout the entire time. Of course, Rotterdam gave them a run for their money as they tied the game up. But nevertheless, it wasn't enough. And the wild pitch thrown in the backstop was a crucial situation. Either way, we congratulate the Rabbits and we thank you guys for tuning in with us. I'm going to remind you again that today we have more baseball ahead. I won't be commentating those games, but we're going to have the first game of the Holland series, which was canceled because of the the rain delay or the rain out, and that will be rescheduled to Monday. And so the second game of the Holland series is going to be played tomorrow here in Amsterdam, and we invite everybody to tune in live. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening to our broadcast. Make sure you check out the Holland Series special. Inside the Holland Series is the title. You can find it on Louis J's YouTube page. And check that out for more baseball culture. There's a link there. Click on that thing. And make sure you send us your comments, your thoughts. This has all been an improvisation to make sure that we broadcast something back home and have you guys enjoy some baseball, as you cannot make it to the ballpark. So we've done this with nothing but love. As the Rabbits are making selfies, rampant and raging. Congratulations to the Rabbits. My name is Victor Araya, and we want to thank you very much for tuning in and have a very blessed Saturday.
Goed gedaan, jongmannen.